Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Europe's New Future. Now I'm actually kind of sorry because I'm sorry. I feel sorry for myself because this is my third try doing this. So, and my electricity went out today, so that's pretty bad. Anyways, I'll stop the yapping and let's get breaking. Let's stop the yapping. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, so NATO's going to start making a push in the Belarus, a little bit of Kiev, Belarus, Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia region. NATO is going to start making some pretty sizable thing. They're going to obviously be winning because obviously why would Russia win? That's so 1940s. Yeah, Russia would never win a war. That's so 1940s. Like, okay, I'll stop. So, anyways, Russia is not going to win because I was just joking with you. NATO is actually like this. So, Russia claims that the border is actually like this. But that's not true. As you can tell, it's like this. So, and NATO says the border looks like this. So they're both lying. So I don't know, man. But NATO clearly wants land because they're winning the war. Why would you not want land in a war that you're winning? Duh. Hello? Okay, so they're taking land, obviously, from Russia. And, doing pretty well. So this is what NATO is trying to get, and they are getting it. So yeah. They're also going to get this and this because it's NATO and they're overpowered. Being in NATO is so unfair if you think about it, because you get protection from so many damn countries. But so NATO was still winning the war. There's basically no change because NATO was still winning. NATO was somehow built different, and they're traversing through the very mountainous area. So Azerbaijan is now going to be joining the war on Turkey's side. On NATO's side. So that's pretty bad for Russia. It's not bad because without Turkey, Turkey and Azerbaijan are gay super lover. I'm joking. What is this? Russia, what? What is this? Are you stupid? Yeah, just sink. And another encirclement, and another encirclement, and another encirclement. These encirclements are so easy. How is Russia not preventing them? What? What? So Russia's not that not strong, so they're just going to, do a little bit of protecting themselves ism. Yeah, that's not a thing. Oh, whoa, Moscow. It doesn't have to be like this. It does not have to be like this, NATO. It does not have to be like this. It does not have to be like this. It does not have to be like this. Please. So NATO is going to encircle Moscow, but the Russians are built different, so that's not going to change anything. By the way, they didn't actually just capture Moscow and just making. Okay, so this is the Russian holdout because Russia obviously is built different. They're not going to just fail because of an encirclement. So these are the current front lines. They're not going to be exactly like this for a long time because NATO's winning very fast. And when I say very fast, I mean very, very, very fast. So, that's not very Russian of Russia to lose something. So NATO is going to very, very, very slowly, but also very, very, very surely push into Moscow. Now NATO is officially inside of Moscow. So that's kind of bad. And NATO is right at yellow part of Moscow, like the capital where Putin is. Like that's where Putin is. So, I mean, NATO is in Moscow, not yet in Moscow, but they're still doing obviously very well, if you can't tell already. So NATO's not in Moscow, but they're very close to being in Moscow. NATO is officially in Moscow. Okay, I'll stop. So Moscow is captured. Let me show you the peace treaty. Okay, so this is the peace treaty. So we are going to have, Belarus having a new government, which is going to be very pro-Western, which is now going to join NATO. Going to join the EU, not NATO yet, because they're working on self-improvement. Now, this is not going to be Belarus, its actual self. It's going to be the second Belarus. Just kidding, it is actually Belarus, but I don't know why I said that. But basically, the capital is going to be in a little bit of a different place than Minsk. I think I got it right because that's supposed to be Minsk. So all of this is a DMZ. DMZ. Like you see this line? Like this is a demilitarized zone. That line, like you see this black line. This is going to be... Oh, and also Ukraine is also now very pro-Russian. Very pro-European and pro-Western. Because if you didn't see the previous episodes, then get out and watch them and come back. Because obviously you won't understand this. So obviously NATO kind of took into account that honestly you should be armed with the Finns. So the demilitarized zone with the Finnish people is kind of small. Anyways, by the way, that's only a demilitarized zone on Russia, but NATO side can do whatever they want on that. And also Azerbaijan, who I mentioned joined the war earlier, got some land, and Turkey too. So that's pretty. Turkey was here already, so doesn't really make a big difference. So Turkey still got all of this. Kind of all of this is new. They didn't really get much because they can't get much because this was their previous border, and that's a pretty damn small border. And obviously Moldova is still united with Romania. So also Slovakia got a little bit out of Ukraine for no reason, just because they helped a lot. Slovakia, for some reason, that's not a very Slovak thing to do in my opinion. But I guess it's okay. Oh, I forgot to add Minsk. My version of Minsk back in. So yikes. Okay, anyways, Poland also got some land. They got all of Kaliningrad, and they got a little tiny bit out of Belarus. This probably used to be their old borders. So Poland got, I think, the most amount of land because this used to be their old borders. So I think Poland got... Finland got obviously the most amount of land because Finland is obviously gonna get this because listen, the Finns are built different, okay? You cannot argue with the Finns. And we also have Estonia, who has a little bit of this. Oh, and St. Petersburg, which is right there, has been divided between Finland and Estonia, because Estonia is also built different considering its size. But Afghanistan and Finland are the built difference. So, yeah, Latvia also got some land. Lithuania too, obviously. They got a little tiny bit out of Kaliningrad. I said a little tiny bit. So, this is the peace treaty. And this is the war borders, obviously. Yeah, these are the war borders. And compare them to the peace treaty. These were the war borders on episode 2. So, obviously, they got a little more than the borders on episode 2. But now, since this is episode 3, obviously, they got all of Russia, which includes, all of this huge blob, not just this. So obviously it's pretty good peace treaty for Russia because they didn't lose as much land as how much they actually lost. So it's kind of cool comparing the episode 2 front lines to the peace treaty over here in episode 3. So yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good peace treaty, honestly. Yeah. Oh, I just realized Poland lost a little bit here to Ukraine, but that's just, a little bit, tiny bit to make up for this lots of land. So that's going to be the peace treaty. So now this is probably going to be the last event that's going to happen. So NATO still exists, obviously, but Switzerland is going to be declaring. Just kidding, not Switzerland. Austria is going to be declaring war on the mighty nation of Liechtenstein. Yes, it's such a big difference to the map. And Liechtenstein is fully annexed. France will be declaring war on Monaco, and they will win very easily. Spain will be declaring war on the nation of Andorra, and they also won. That's pretty bad. But nobody's doing anything about it because they're micronations. Who cares about those? So, Austria is going to be declaring war on the mighty Swiss. The mighty Swiss. Oh no, this is such a bad thing for Austria. The Swiss people are built different too. So it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth. Sorry, not that. It's going to be a little bit of a back and forth. Since the Austrians are also built different after World War II, it's kind of an equal match, Switzerland versus Austria. Austria has the experience, and Switzerland is just built different. So Austria is going to be winning so far, but they're not going to be winning because Switzerland is being heavily aided by lots of countries. Totally not France. Yeah, totally not France. Why would it be France? It is France. And the UK. Those seem very familiar. Going against Austria. That totally doesn't give me flashbacks. So, since, it's kind of a little bit of a back and forth, but Switzerland is being aided very much. Switzerland will be able to pull an offensive into Austria, and this is going to be the peace treaty, because Austria doesn't want to lose more. So not that big of a difference over here in the peace treaty, but I guess it's a minor loss for Austria, but even though that's all just about a bunch of mountains, because really all of this is mountain, mountain, mountain. But this is also lots of mountain. This is mountain. And this is also kind of mountain. So. Oh, and this is also. This is a very, very, very mountain. And this is also very, very mountain. This is mountain. And this is mountain. But this is very, 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 very mountain. And this is also very, very mountain. Okay, what is wrong with me? Why do I keep yapping? Like, it's like I went on a yapathon. Anyways, so the last event, for real this time, is going to be Italy taking on the two very mighty nations of Vatican City. San Marino is gone. It is fully annexed. And now Vatican City. But with the power of the Pope and for the Christians, Jesus, Vatican City will be able to make a comeback, and Vatican City will be taking over the world in all spirit. And this is all Vatican City. I'm joking. Of course, that didn't just happen. Vatican City got rolled over. So, anyways, stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.